Gavin Newsom. It recently resurfaced that he had dated a 19-year-old when he was 39, had an affair with the wife of a campaign manager, and was addicted to alcohol. Or as Hunter calls it, amateur.
There is no bigger fan of Gavin Newsom than Bill Maher. He loves the guy. Bill, snap out of it. And he had Gavin Newsom on his show on Friday night. Couple of sound bites making the rounds, including this one on the trans issue, SOT 19.
A lot of people lately talking about this 80-20 issue. And I think you are on the other side of this now, the side with the 80. 80 being 80% of the people in this country. Again, this is the issue of should biologically born men be able to compete in women's sports.
That's tough.
And, you know, I saw the polling here in California.
Don't worry, however, because Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly just brought a flamethrower to the clown show in California, and the resulting breakdown is amazing. This roast makes wildfires seem like fragrant candles, so if you've ever wondered, what happens when arrogant people meet SmackDown, fasten your seatbelt. This is the result of combining the cleverness of a broken Roomba with Gavin Newsom's hair gel budget.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
What's a condom?
But as always, when a far-left Dem runs for national office, he acts like a Republican. This is where the left is.
A silver-haired buzzword marketer, Poof, Gavin Newsom's idea of leadership is somewhere between an Instagram filter and a failed tyrant's Broadway tryout. He is the political equivalent of purchasing a kale smoothie only to find it tastes like wet grass, California, and treachery. The song Gavin would be the brand's face and oily forehead if hypocrisy had a hair gel endorsement.
Gavin ponders why Dems lost.
We lost the popular vote and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed. And we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of issues with Israel? Was it all of the above? I think we are going through that forensic. We need to understand at the same time, we also have to push back against the whitewaters and headwinds of the Trump administration.
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes.
Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly marinated, sautéed, and flamed him in addition to roasting him. Gavin is like a pinata full of unfulfilled promises in NPR programs. Every time you hit him, another ridiculous concept pops out. That's why they fed him gluten-free catastrophe.
Gavin Newsom claims he only noticed Biden's cognitive decline once during the 4 years Biden was in office. And that one time was when Biden endorsed Gavin Newsom. According to a new poll, the city with the most STDs in the nation is Detroit.
Let's start with the man's characteristic tactic. He acts like he's in a Whole Foods parking lot, his condition akin to the aftermath of a raccoon party, while he claims to be morally superior. Under Newsom, California is more than just a mess. It's a high-tech dystopia run on taxpayer-funded smugness and solar panels that only function on Tuesdays.
Fundamental question, is it fair? And I can give you example after example. Just in my home state, there was someone that won a triple jump by 8 feet. Right. It was fundamentally unfair. We haven't been able to figure that out.
You see, the right has weaponized. One might even say they pounced, Emily, on this issue.
I mean, yeah, of course. It was the right who was just so excited to talk about bathrooms and locker rooms. They just couldn't.
Gavin governs like someone who perused how to destroy an economy for fools and took it as a to-do list. Greg Gutfeld couldn't help but note, wearing Gucci, Newsom's economic ideas which are basically ostentatious, humiliating TikTok dances conducted on the verge of the fiscal cliff, Megyn charged him like a lioness who had just found a deer wrapped in tofu. These policies will surely result in a horrible collapse. For instance, he shut down California as if it were an island in Jurassic Park. Then he raced off to the French Laundry restaurant to drink artful hypocrisy from a $700 wine glass that cost 0 cents. When the man's actual life is already a Mad Libs sheet made up by a drunk lobbyist, Gutfeld scarcely required parody. His own haircut stayed in place when he was preaching stay home, save lives, maybe because it was kept together by the tears of tiny enterprises he closed without reason. Megyn, as everyone else was thinking, pointed out that if hair gel had a soul, it would sue Gavin Newsom for emotional abuse.
Gavin's hands. It's time for Gavin's hands.
Welcome to a new segment called Gavin's Hands. He keeps his hands in motion and his hair full of lotion. True, Gavin's views may be idiotic, but his hands moves, well, they're hypnotic. California Governor Newsom's new podcast is out. It's available wherever fine hair care products are sold. And we couldn't help but notice an unintended delight, his unique hand gesture.
Homelessness is undoubtedly Gavin's piece to reject. He assures everyone that it's okay because he cares. Making Venice Beach into a Mad Max precursor with less morals and more fentanyl is the epitome of compassion. The first state to include 10 cities as a zoning category is California. Homelessness soared under his rule, like his ego at a meeting on climate change. A Whole Foods is hoped to open before another outdoor med spa does, and actual Californians are out here avoiding used needles like Olympic fencing in the meanwhile, making the electricity system like a roulette wheel with intricate rolling blackouts is his best achievement. In a similar fashion to how your ex-boyfriend who abandoned you cares hazily and primarily about his appearance to his pals, Greg Gutfeld virtually burst with caring. Verify energy costs again that are similar to rent in Manhattan. Gavin has a cult-like attachment to green energy, much as a cult leader likes incense, and he is completely cut off from reality.
What he posted, stand by. It's amazing. Okay, he posts the following. California, under the leadership of radical left Democrat Gavin Newsom, continues to illegally allow men to play in women's sports. This week, a transition male athlete, meaning a male pretending to be a female, at a major event won everything and is now qualified to compete in the state finals next weekend. As a male, he was a less than average competitor. All true. As a female, this transition person is practically unbeatable. This is not fair and totally demeaning to women and girls. Please be hereby advised that large-scale federal funding will be...
Megyn nailed it. Half the state was on fire like a scene from Dante's Inferno, yet Newsom's big sustainability move was banning plastic straws. Hard to sip bamboo oat milk when the whole city's burning. Defunding the police turned into a Yelp review with Gavin's traffic enforcement looking like interpretive dance. Crime? California became a place where burglars get spot tickets and theft under $950 is practically a sport. Greg had a blast pointing out stores locking up deodorant like diamonds while security guards need therapy. When all else fails, blame Texas just. Make sure no one sees you wading through failure in Gucci loafers.
Absolutely the right, who just couldn't wait to make an issue out of transgender kids. I mean, this is why Gavin Newsom, I think, is having a hard time on his rehabilitation tour as he's launched his podcast. And it's because he's it's impossible for him to run from his actual record because he can't fully disavow it. He can't fully get away from it. It's like how he said, nobody in our office ever used Latinx. And then a million clips were produced of Gavin Newsom himself, let alone his office, saying the word Latinx. He can't fully divorce himself from the last 10 years.
Then there's education total chaos. Gavin kept schools closed like he was running a 6-term presidency, while his own kids attended private schools. California's students learned math over dial-up Zoom, while Gavin gave TED Talks on equality from a gold-plated yoga mat. He's not leading, he's live streaming the apocalypse in 4K. they joked. Megyn compared public education to a drunk substitute teacher allergic to facts. Kids graduated knowing more about microaggressions than multiplication, with math scores tanking, faster than Gavin's approval ratings.
See, Newsom wasn't just ignoring the problem, he enabled it because Dems were in a woke crouch, terrified of their loony base. But now that he's seeing the White House, he's got a brand new act, a common sense centrist, just a soccer dad in khakis, fed up with crime and chaos. It's all bull. A costume, a political drag show, and the kids this drag queen is reading to are the gullible voters. He's the classic wolf in sheep's hair gel. Just watch him answer the tough questions.
Any other questions here?
Yes, Governor. California has a terrible homeless problem. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. And I think it's a matter of...
If you could, which state would you wish to lead? Oh, you may reply, it's Texas, live free or die. In other words, California is a location where people may live under the most incompetent administration imaginable. That's New Hampshire, so either make do with what you have or perish. Fortunately, they seem to be making headway with Hamas, which is ridiculous. California Governor Gavin Newsom secretly funded a monument to himself inside San Francisco City Hall. According to a new book, the statue has a realistic appearance.
Be the governor of any state, what would it be? And you might say, oh, I would be in Texas, live free or die. No, that's New Hampshire. Just live free. It's
or just die.
Die or just it's California. Because people can live under the most incompetent governance ever. The good news, they appear to be gaining ground among Hamas trannies. That is like a paid laugh. A new book claims California Governor Gavin Newsom secretly funded a monument to himself inside San Francisco City Hall. Apparently, the statue is so realistic.
Not to mention Newsom's greatest stage, when he ordered company closures and moral lectures and had enough drama in every news conference to win him a Golden Globe. He was then shocked to find himself unmasked at a birthday dinner with enough people to start a cult and a wine selection that cried out, "Do as I say, not as I guzzle." It was Gutfeld shouting. Hollywood sets and fundraising events were exempt from the man's ban on churches, marriages, and funerals. When your double standards are so blatant that they may be regarded as a fire hazard, it is not hypocrisy, despite citing Nietzsche at breakfast. Gavin reigns like a guy who tips and coupons.
Put together after Newsom was out there claiming, never.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. Latinx and black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious.
That's so fun. Gavin, a simple Google search about yourself will serve you well before you make these sweeping claims. But on the same dishonest, disingenuous front, he tried to act like he's the reasonable one on the trans and the children.
But it's like trying to discover a way to lose money while operating a lemonade stand on the surface of the sun. Under Newsom, California has accomplished a remarkable dichotomy of record income and record losses, even at the hefty taxes. Renting a property in Greece that is earthquake-proof costs less than living in a shanty in San Francisco. At the same time, Gavin's answer to economic devastation was criticized by another committee, and small companies were assaulted more harshly than a gender studies degree at a truck rally.
Kennedy, a new book. Gavin Newsom funded claims Gavin Newsom funded a monument of his head in San Francisco City Hall to commemorate his time as mayor. Was he a good mayor? I don't think so.
He was a horrible mayor. Like everywhere he's gone in the state, every big problem has only metastasized.
Gutfeld nailed it. More people flee California each year than join a bad dating show, but Gavin sees opportunities, not problems. He treats taxpayers like donors to his personal failure fund, slapping fancy labels on disasters and calling it innovation. As tech giants like Elon and Oracle flee, Gavin tweets Dalai Lama quotes, pretending not to see the unemployment line stretching to Oregon. California burns billions on useless train projects while struggling to keep the lights on or water flowing. Megyn quipped, "The only passengers on Gavin's fast train are hourly consultants and dream-chasing lobbyists."
Fuck Gavin or Newsom. The hell?
Oh, no,
the hell is... who's a better
first of all,
actor? I'm not sure. They're both up for an award.
I was watching him on MSNBC. He's got a new hand motion. I was going to text him. It's this. It's got usually it's kind of this, and then he's doing this. He was doing this thing on MSNBC. He's doing this whole thing. Look, he is the fakest person I think I've ever met in my entire life. So synthetic, and honestly, that's very dangerous, like incredibly dangerous. Like he's the type of person that could just like stare at you like, "Oh yeah, I voted for Trump," and just like pass a lie detector test. That is very, very dangerous. Just complete.
It's the perfect metaphor for Gavin's career over budget, off track, and pretending it's going somewhere. It's less a train, and more a runaway roller coaster driven by someone who doesn't understand wheels. It all ends in a pile of taxpayer receipts and another fake victory photo where Gavin grins like he's just cured cancer. He talks like he's auditioning for the West Wing, but he's really just staring at a budget hole, completely unaware of the mess he's made, since Gavin is a lifestyle brand.
Often approaching things from that sort of mindset.
What do you mean for Trump?
I think there's sort of the grievance narrative that comes from Trump. This notion there is sort of a victim grievance.
They did.
Let's take a closer look at this with a spot shadow or no spot shadow. What exactly is he trying to say here, huh? Is it a mysterious form of sign language for morons? Is he conveying some secret code to terrorists? Is he signaling the Los Angeles Angels to steal third base? But I'm willing to bet that former Californians recognize those hand signals. They're the motions you make to back up a U-Haul as you flee that failed state.
He could have a press conference even if he were in a room with only a mirror. He most likely attempts to outvote it and fails because he is so consumed by his own image. Imagine a never-ending TED Talk that merely serves as a perpetual barrier between delusion and disaster, all the while sipping oat milk lattes and making climate pledges with the sincerity of a used car commercial. He is one pompadour away from establishing a theme park named Faux Empathy and False Promises. Gavin would have built a spaceship by now if ambition meant intelligence, but instead he has built a monument to mediocrity that is kept together by costly cosmetics and vanity.
On X, I addressed Gavin Newsom personally. He follows me, so I tagged him. And I'm going to be honest, I begged him to please stop this for all the reasons stated on our YouTube feed. And he didn't get back to me. But I think I was shooting at the wrong public official who follows me, because President Trump is so fearless in this battle. And President Trump, Gavin Newsom ignored me, but President Trump took up the mantle. Big Daddy got out there with his bazooka and was like, I solved this problem, and you governors better freaking go along.
In California, once the world's innovation capital and the land of dreams, a dystopian PowerPoint presentation with rolling blackouts, 10 cities, potholes, and better infrastructure than Gavin's promises has come to life. All the while, the man is standing there getting ready for his next. This is performance art, not leadership. The emperor has campaign money, but he has no clothes, just a $3,000 0-cent suit, a personal stylist, and a weekly news conference. To boldly say nothing at all, at least he outlawed plastic straws. Even though I'm not a presidential candidate, here's a 7-minute monologue. We have taken down the environmentally friendly wallpaper because of Greg and Megyn. So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.